All right, it is Wednesday, July 1st. Welcome to July. Happy Canada Day for our Canada fans out there. It is This Fan's View, July edition, July 1st, and we are finishing up Who Wore It Best, number 18, and moving on to 19. John, what do you got?
All right, we had a very successful week with number 18. We had 526 voters, which was very good to see. And Philadelphia proud pulled out, and we beat the outsider once again. Mike Richards pulled out the victory, 248 votes for him. John Vukovic came in second with 174, and Peyton Manning was third. So. And then we had a bunch of write-ins. It was a very good, productive week with everybody voting. We're going to have a very nice week already with 220 votes already for the outsider for number 19, which Tony Gwynn ended up winning on that, which was a little bit of a surprise, I thought. As far as not that he didn't deserve it, but as big of a margin that he won by. But Johnny Unitas came in second, and Joe Montana actually had a lot of write-in votes for his Kansas City days, since we gave him a little bit of a bashing for not beating out Bobby Clark in number 16, so we tried to backdoor him with number 19.
John, that Mike Richards thing shows you two things. One, everyone was worried about the outsider, and one of the guys actually won that was on there. And two, yeah. A hockey guy won, and everyone says, the hockey guys don't get the love there. So that's two things that basically prove that it's not true.
And if you look at the breakdowns, we got 18 numbers already so far, and 6 of them been hockey guys. So
there you go.
What was that? 6 of them have been hockey guys. So one third of the votes.
I'm losing my hearing.
You're losing it. One third have been hockey guys, so out of the 18. So there's a lot of hockey love in this town. This week we got a very good matchup as well, which we may have another hockey player winning this week as well. But for the Philadelphia Phillies, we have Greg the Bull Luzinski, 4-time All-Star, world champion, Wall of Famer for the Phillies. For the Eagles, we have Tom Dempsey. He has the record for the longest time there for the 63-yard field goal. For the Flyers, we have that Rick McLeish, the 2-time Stanley Cup champion.
The Hawk was his nickname.
And 3-time All-Star. So a big member of the 2 double Stanley Cup champions for the Sixers, or for the Flyers. For the Sixers, we have Raja Bell.
Who?
I was waiting.
No, well, people may know him, but he's a defensive player.
Nope, he played on the same team as Eric Snow, so of course I know who he is.
Your dad said you would say that.
Yep. I have a Raja Bell autograph. There's probably not many people that have that in their collection, but I do. So, know who's
nobody
here.
that still has it in their collection.
Yeah.
Well, nobody that'll admit to it that they had it. All
right, enough out of you.
What's the over under on how many votes Raja Bell gets?
Probably none.
5, yeah, about 5.
5. I was going to say 6.
Yeah,
I was going to say 6.
Yeah, Shake Milton got 5 last week. So,
all right. You guys have better confidence than I do.
we have a little bit of basketball love here on this show as well. And then as we mentioned earlier, for the outsider, we have Tony Gwynn, the 8-time batting champ, 15-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glover, Mr. Padre himself, Silver Slugger 7 times, member of the Hall of Fame. So. Unfortunately, he was taken away from us a little too soon with his cancer issues. But very, very well-deserving player.
And his son, Junior, played here in Philly.
Played here in Philadelphia. So it all ties all together. Ties it all back together. And so yeah, it's very good, very good. He only batted 338 for his career, his 20-year career. So just
Only.
yeah. I mean, he was a slap hitter. That's all he was. Punch and Judy.
Could you imagine if he played in New York or Boston or something?
Oh, my
You know what I
gosh.
mean? He played in San Diego, and he
Yeah,
played in one of those big markets. He would have been bigger than anything in the world.
exactly. Kind of. I mean, not that Mike Trout's not big too, but like Mike Trout's kind of hidden being out there on the West Coast. If he,
Yeah.
like you said, if he was here in Boston or New York, well, it would be crazy how big and good he was. I mean, he was just a pure hitter. It's there was no pitch that you could throw to him, and he would just do whatever you want me to hit it that way. I'll hit it that way. There was no shift in him. he made the shift go away. I think there was one stat that he faced so many. I forget the exact number. Some of you will probably remember it, but he only just struck out 74 times against the top 6 Hall of Famers that he faced throughout his whole 20 years. It's something insane. So
I got a question.
there you go.
Already?
Do I get as much airtime as he does talking about Tony Gwynn and talking about hockey?
Absolutely. We got a lot of hockey news tonight.
10 minutes in, he hasn't shut up about Tony.
Well,
And you're not even going to vote for him.
I am not. You never
Are you
know.
talking about me this whole time?
Yeah.
No.
No, he's
The other
talking
guy.
No, he's talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about him.
Oh no.
No.
I would never rip him.
Well,
I do all the time.
that's not true. That's not true.
I mean, that isn't true, but I do all the time. I thought you were talking about him, and I was like, Ben, you are having no reaction whatsoever to this right now.
No. John hasn't shut up about Tony Gwynn. Everybody knows
His
about
son
Tony
was really
Gwynn.
nice. His son was nice when we had him in the store.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yep. His
So
son
what do you-
talks just like
Can we share what you're drinking?
Oh, White Claw. Raspberry.
Very nice. Maybe they like to sponsor the show next week.
there you go.
I mean, they certainly do have enough money. Everybody drinks White Claw, but
I
It is
swear to
huge.
God. And what is it? Nothing more than seltzer, right?
yeah.
A little bit of alcohol.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, little bit.
Yeah,
Mm.
5%.
Yep.
I think most of the beers I drink have more than 5% alcohol in them.
Wow. So, anyways.
So,
All right.
It's a nice
All right.
cocktail for the show.
Dad, who you voting for?
Oh, man. This is a tough one.
It
No.
is.
Why you starting with me?
All right. Anthony, who you voting for?
He got a drink in his mouth.
You want me to go?
Sure.
Okay, this one is the interesting.
Here we go.
So, Tony Gwynn is obviously the best player there, in my opinion. However, we're talking about who are best in Philadelphia. So, Greg Luzinski is almost like Darren Dalton used to be. He's sort of like, the face of the organization. You see him all the time. He's got his own barbecue place. You know what I mean? So, the answer is Greg Luzinski. But, that's who wore it best. I'm not talking about the best player to wear the number ever. I'm talking about who wore it best in Philadelphia, Greg Luzinski.
Well, Tony Gwynn did realistically. He only batted 278 when he was here in Philadelphia.
Oh,
So
there you go.
he was a little underperforming.
All right, John. How many games did he play in Philadelphia?
I don't know that number. Don't know.
What else you got for us, John? Anything else on Tony?
Oh,
That-
God.
That's it. That's all.
If it was best overall player, I'd definitely go with Tony Gwynn, but that's not the question. The question, who wore it best? And Greg Luzinski is very much like Darren Dalton around here, so he gets the vote.
There you go.
That was pretty logical.
There you go, Lauren. Who do you have?
I'm
Let's
also
go.
going to go with Greg Luzinski solely just because I like him. I feel like I can't not vote for a guy that was invited to the wedding. So I'm going with Greg Luzinski.
I voted Rajah Bell for the wedding. I sent him an invite.
Oh, you did? That's good.
I had Raja Bell on my family side.
Yeah, I bet.
All right, Mario. Who do you have?
I was torn between McLeishan and Luzinski, but I'm going to go with the Bull.
There you go. No peer pressure. You can go with Jake what you want.
Yeah, I don't buckle under peer pressure at all.
No, you
So
don't. Not at all.
Yep.
All right, Carl.
you're up.
Who do you got?
I got to go with my hockey guy. I got to go with Rick McLeish. Sorry, 2-time
Hey.
Stanley Cup champ, 50-goal scorer. Come on.
It's
I mean-
not a wrong answer.
Oh,
So
that's what makes this great.
It
So
was-
great.
it was tough for me to decide between the two, but Bull just edged him out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it's a great choice. You know what I mean? I'll probably, he'll probably hear that I didn't vote for him on the show, and I'll have to, I'll just, support it. But
You
yeah,
have to
I'm
give
going Rick McLeish.
you have to give an extra cocktail at the wedding. That's all.
There you go. So how about you, John? What do you got?
Well, I'm going Blazinski.
I
He's the
kind of
man.
figured that.
You didn't go Tony Gwynn
Yes,
after all that.
Well, I mean,
you
you
knew
got
that.
you know who I'm going for.
You knew that.
You know, I'm not voting for
all that.
outsiders.
You know what my thought is, honestly, for the outsiders, I feel like it's really has to be, and we'll see as it goes on, but I really feel like it has to be a huge name. Like
If Peyton Manning didn't win, there's no hope
no,
for
no,
the
I'm
outsiders.
saying it's got to be like,
It's
it's
going
got to be
to
Jackie Robinson or Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? People are going to vote for the Philly person unless there's really a rough week in there somewhere.
Right, and like a Ken Griffey Jr. and
Yeah.
and like you said, probably Michael Jordan with 23 will be before
Right.
Griffey.
I've
Yeah,
lost
it's
all
like-
hope on the outsiders.
2 weeks.
Oh, it's
Peyton Manning didn't win. I've lost all hope. I'm done.
well, but the thing is, you had two beloved Philadelphia players here.
I guess.
That was
So, when you have an outsider where the Philly guys aren't the best,
Right.
outsider can still win.
see, the Philadelphia fan base is smart. We'll vote. We're not going to just vote for our guy just because, but when you put up somebody next to him,
No,
that's
they
compare.
are. They are voting for their guy just because. They vote for Rajah Bell before they voted for Peyton Manning.
Well,
I don't know about that.
yeah.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't know about
They
that.
never
John,
vote against their
John,
foe.
I got a question. John, was there anybody for the Sixers besides Rajah Bell?
There was two other guys, and they would have been a who and a who.
A who and a who?
Yeah, and when we had to stretch for Roger Bell, because Roger Bell only wore it for that 1 year.
I feel bad for the
All
Sixers
right.
and all this. There's not, there's a few no-brainers, but then there's going to be a lot of guys that it's like that'll be a tough
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Win.
So
No, it's true.
is there a Philly player for every number
Oh, absolutely.
on
Yeah.
all four teams?
Well,
No,
the
no.
Sixers won't have guys. They'll probably have. Once you get over 40s, they'll be scattered. There's
Well,
not
and you'll
many.
run out of Phillies at some point. There's no Philly player necessarily with those high numbers unless you dig into like the minor leagues.
So do
Well,
we go
yeah,
two
some-
outsiders at that point?
Well, no, we might double up on like an Eagles guy, depending on the numbers. But you'll also have the September call-ups that will have those odd numbers, like like a Pat Burrell had a higher number during that when it first came up, or he had 33.
Right.
But like just like kind of like in spring training, Moniak had I think 78, and there's going to be guys that are going to have the higher numbers once they come up for that first taste in September. Davey had 73 was his number. So I mean there'll be guys.
Still is.
Right. So I mean, you're going to have those numbers, but like you said, it's going to be slimmer pickings between those at that point. But
So I think we need to pick somebody off the comments page to be the person that we go to in the event that we need a tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I picked Jack Broder because he made the comment, if they didn't play in Philly, they won't get my vote.
I'm okay with that.
there you go.
Good choice.
at least we know his allegiance. So we'll make him in charge of the outsider, and that way he'll never win. They'll never win.
Right. Well, there you go. I second that.
Nothing like stacking the deck.
Oh, hey. The Philly pride. And everybody wants to slip past this one and then get right to number 20 next week. But
Yeah, they're
Oh,
missing out on Rajah Bell if they're passing this week.
they've been waiting for David. Hey, you know who 20 is for the Sixers, right?
oh yeah,
Oh, I know. He'll get one vote, but it'll be mine.
well, Eric Snow may not be the guy.
What?
Oh. Uh-oh.
You decide to drop this on me now in the middle of the show.
I mean, Doug Collins was there as well.
No. Don't. If you even, I'm not even putting up the event, so you can't make the poll. I'm not even putting up the event.
Lauren, you can always do a write-in.
That's right.
You can do a write-in.
He's gonna do a write out.
See you guys.
But nice knowing you, John. See ya. Forget that save the date you got.
Hey, but in all seriousness, I mean, everybody's been waiting for 20 for how many weeks now?
Yeah. Oh, they've been doing that since we started week 1. Everybody's been calling for that, and yeah, I mean, we're going to have, when we go through the list, there's 10 Hall of Famers that we're going to have throughout that week between the outsiders and then within the Philadelphia teams themselves. 10 Hall of Famers for number 20. That's going to be an impressive list to battle out. The outsiders are going to have a tough choice this week to get that pick, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of write-ins as well when we come to that point. But
So we got somebody asking who 20 for the Flyers is going to be. I think we should wait till next week to reveal that.
well,
there's a few good numbers.
Right.
There's
Yeah,
a few good who wore that number.
So
that's the thing. Like if we got, that's going to be one that we're going to have to do a poll for the viewers. Are going to need our help with that one. I guess we're not going to be doing the Sixers one. That was my other one that we're going to do. We're just going right with Eric Snow. But yeah, you got Dave Poulin and Chris Pronger and Keith Jones and Kevin Dineen with number 20 for the Flyers. So that one's going to be a little bit of a battle there between those guys there. But yeah, this week we got the vote's going to go up after the show at 7:30, and just like we added the outsider votes there, so we could get a little bit more interest in it with everybody. Some positives, some negatives, but that's okay. It makes the game a little more interesting, and we should see what we go.
all right.
We got Jimmy Watson as well for number 20.
So, rolling on to our next topic of discussion, baseball is back, folks.
Yes, it is.
Are we excited? Are we nervous? What are we? Because I saw some photos today from the Phillies. They posted Bryce Harper, Rhys Hoskins, Joe Girardi. So I mean, some of the guys are back in town. I did appreciate Bryce Harper's T-shirt. It was a JT Real Muto shirt, which I thought was funny.
Yes.
So how are we feeling about that?
I'm liking it. We're nervous though. I mean, we got to make sure that the season's going to, actually happen and or finish even if it does get started. There's a lot of question marks as whether or not it's going to happen, and that's going to decide on a lot of factors as far as does Spencer Howard and Alec Boehm start the season directly with us, just so that they don't lose their service time for a year. And then possibly losing for maybe 20 games or something throughout the season if the season ends up closing down. So
Let's get it started first before we talk about it finishing.
Well, I think they're going to be going. They're going to start. It's just a matter of what happens. And
I'm excited. very anxious to get this started. I just very inquisitive as to what's going to happen because it's still all up in the air.
Well, that's why I was getting all my guys here up on the board here to kind of give you the feel of how the baseball season is going to be with the cardboard cutouts in the stands.
Except you're going to have to add a pretty sweet mustache to Reese Hoskins because I don't know if you guys caught that, but he's
and
running
some hair.
Some hair. I needed to do that. I needed to add that to his hair.
Pretty
And
sweet
bushy
yet
hair.
creepy mustache, I must say. And Bryce Harper's got the man bun going. Although I'm okay with that. That's fine. He's always been a man bun kind of guy. But Reese Hoskins and that mustache, I don't care for that.
Kind of look like a 70s porn star.
Yeah, I don't. That's yeah, I'm not into that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do all the guys have to report by Friday?
I think they have to come today and get their test done.
Okay.
They have to get tested first, and then I guess get their results between the next 2 days, and then go from. Everything starts on Friday.
Okay.
Officially.
Other than Zimmerman and the couple of those pitchers, are those the only 3 people at this point that have said that they don't want to play, or has anything changed with that?
That's all I've heard so far. The 2 players from Washington
and the guy from Colorado, Desmond. What's his lad? He plays out in Colorado now.
Yeah, well, those are the 3 guys.
There's 2 pitchers, right, and
the first baseman Zimmerman.
Yeah.
So what happens to them? Do they get fined? Do they just not get paid, or is it just?
They just
They
don't.
actually get paid.
Man, what a gig!
Yep, they get paid the full season because it's the virus issues. So they it's obviously it's a shortened season, so whatever that number is, but they get paid for that, which
But like Zimmerman, I read his statement. I mean, whether you're mad at him or not, I don't think you can be. I mean, he said I think he said his mother has MS and he just had a baby like a month ago or whatever it might be. So plus, he's also, I think it said he's 35 years old. So I'm sure he doesn't want to take a year off because you don't know if you can come back after that.
Right.
So,
exactly.
It's pretty serious for him. I just wondered how, it's a lot of younger guys, but I wonder if there were more older guys that have situations like this that might stay away. But I've only seen those 3 names so far.
Yeah, I mean,
Ian Desmond is the guy's name from Colorado.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. And you got those 3. I mean, I don't know. You got a lot of issues, with players, families, like I said, Zach Wheeler, his wife is due any day now. She's 8.5 weeks pregnant or months pregnant. So she's due anytime. And then, he leaves on his maternity leave, and then, he's going to have to sit out for 2 weeks to get back, at that point. So, he's out for at least 3 weeks of the season, with basically. So, I mean, it's, yeah, I'm sure you're going to see a lot more. You see a lot of them happening in basketball now. A lot of guys are backing out. So
let's talk about the 60-game schedule. Let's put the virus over to the side. Let's talk about the 60-game schedule. Who does it benefit? The hitters, the pitchers, the coaches, the manager. Who does it benefit the most? I mean, who has?
I would imagine. Well, I guess it's all. It's not as easy to say. Like the pitchers, if the pitchers were ready to go, you would think it'd be the pitchers because you don't have as many games to pitch. But if you're struggling, you're also in trouble.
Right.
The batters, if you get rolling, you're good. But if you get struggling, you're in trouble. So it's a crapshoot at 60 games. Any team could do anything. A team that you think would have no chance of winning could win if they go on a streak for 2 months.
Oh yeah.
So I don't even know how to answer that question. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be more a team that's set pitching wise, and depth wise in through your bullpens, because you're not going to have your starters going long. Wouldn't think too much in the very beginning. Probably 5 innings you might max out there.
Right.
in the very beginning of the season, and you only have 12 starts, so that's maybe 2 starts before you're actually fully stretched out. But a team that has a good, strong depth, starting rotation that can get you, and that also helps the other pitchers too, because if you can only go 3 or 4, 4 or 5 innings, you don't have to worry about being 7 innings deep. You go 4 or 5 innings and then have your bullpen cover you for a while. Will win out as well.
Do you guys think that we'll see a team win the World Series this year that wouldn't normally win it? Is this kind of one of the years that sort of an outsider, so to speak, wins, a team that doesn't normally get a fair shot?
I think it's
See what
possible.
you did there. I like that.
No, it's very possible, because you look at the teams and a team from the Central would be a team that would have that opportunity.
Why so?
Well, because the schedule you're playing, like the NL East and the AL East are going to have an extremely tough schedule throughout the whole thing, because you got 10 games for the Phillies. We got 10 games against the Mets, 10 against the Nationals, 10 against the Braves. 4 games against the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Rays. Toronto's an up and coming team. So you only have and that's everybody. I mean, so they got to bounce. Every team's got to in the East has got to battle out those teams. So you might only have a team win 28 games, 30 games, and be the division champion. And then when you're trying to battle for the wild card, like I think it was the American League or American League Central was kind of the easier one, I thought, where it's probably the Twins and the Indians are the 2 top teams, and the other 3 teams aren't as strong. So you're going to have 30 games for the Indians or the Twins against those weaker teams, where the Phillies, for our instance, doesn't have that as easy of a schedule.
Do you think any of the new rules, do you think any of those have a serious effect on the game itself? Like, for example, in the minor leagues, we've had for the last couple of years, they always use us as a tryout area. And we've seen where they put a guy on second base to get the extra innings to go faster.
Right.
What we've seen is it actually gone the opposite way. You put a guy on second, someone gets a base hit, they get a run. Then that inning's over. The next inning, someone does, and we go probably longer than we would if we didn't. Now, that might not be a huge effect, but the NL with the DH now is something you never had to talk about. I wonder what your thoughts were on some of the new rules going into this.
I think it's going to change the game a little bit. I just don't. The only thing I don't like is the rule, this runner on second base. At first, it's kind of like the hockey game, the overtime shootout type of thing. We thought it was kind of corny at first, and how you're going to decide a game that way. And as it's coming through, it's more exciting. People look forward to it, and but then when you go to the playoffs, you're going to scratch that, and then you're going to go back to the. So it's kind of going to make it a little bit uncomfortable, like having 2 different types of styles of baseball: your regular season and then your playoff. When it comes to that, the DH, I think that'll help the Phillies.
I think it'll help the National League.
Well, it will, but I mean, I think it's going to help the Phillies in a couple of spots with Harper, Hoskins, and Real Muto, as well as other teams too. But getting a guy like Alec Bohm into the lineup that we feel might struggle a little bit defensively. You can hide his defense by putting him as a DH. So because his bat's definitely worth being up in the majors. So it's got its advantages and disadvantages. But
I know Lauren brought up a lot of the photos that have circulated today. Has anyone seen JT Realmuto? Has he been in any of those photos?
No. I haven't seen anything. He posts pretty frequently to Instagram.
Okay.
Well, at least on his Instagram story, but I haven't seen anything as of recently. No.
Okay.
But John,
I know where you're going with that.
John, keeping in mind that we have two other topics to get to tonight, what do you think the Phillies' hesitation is on that?
With JT?
Yeah.
Well, I think they're playing, like we were talking a little bit before the show. I think they're playing a little. They're gambling, and I don't know if it's a good idea. They know that they're going to spend the most money. I think that re-sign him. John Middleton loves JT, and he wants him here, and he's going to be the guy again. Where Clintack's not going to do it. I think Middleton's going to be the guy that's going to get the deal done.
Let's all agree that the owner writes the check, so he's going to have the final say.
Right, and he loves them.
20 or 140 million, it's his money. So,
but the thing to keep in mind, and I don't know if it's true or not, Clintack was on the news the other day, and he was, they're like, well, seemed like you were close, and you're not necessarily close right now. And I think he was trying to explain that with all the things that are going on right now, it's not like we have. And it's hard for you to explain that because people know that we're talking about ownership and people that have a lot of money in the first place.
Right.
But he was trying to explain that since March, things have changed, not because JT Realmuto's changed, but because we're not bringing in money like we used to. So that doesn't mean that they're not going to get him, but it's a lot easier to spend that much money when you constantly have revenue coming in. When you have to put it from your savings account that you didn't really want to, you got to make that decision. Now, they'll ultimately make that decision, but they're probably going to try to save as much as they can until things get rolling and bank accounts start flowing again. I'm imagining.
That's why I think that's what they're trying to do. Should they give him the contract now to keep him happy? Yes. Like Carl was kind of alluding to it. What's JT's incentive to come out and play this year? He doesn't have one.
Right.
Because the only thing that's going to happen is he's going to get hurt. And he's already the best baseball catcher in baseball, so there's really not a reason for him to come and play these 60 games, risking his free agency, because it's already going to be he's getting a pay cut already because baseball is going to be not colluding, but they're going to be colluding with lower salaries because like you said, they lost a lot of money. It's like $1 billion they're talking about losing. So, I think that's why they're hoping and are taking the gamble that we're not going to pay them right now, and knowing that we have the checkbook we're going to pay them at the end, and hope that no other team's going to go crazy for them in the off season, and instead of giving them 140 million, maybe we give them 120 million because of the way that the contracts work. Right. Me personally, it's easy for me to say, but I wouldn't do that because you're going to get your best play, your second best player, a little bit upset by not, he's already losing money this year in the arbitration, and he should have gotten, an extension this year. Right. So I mean, it's a gamble. I mean, it's business, and that's the ugly part of the game. And I think JT realizes that, but it doesn't mean that he's going to give us a hometown discount when it comes to coming back here if he does go to free agency.
So, John, we got to go ahead, Carl.
No, you go. No,
okay, we got to. Okay, we got a question on the board as to how you think they're going to do with the roster they have, and how much different is it than the roster that we had last year?
What's interesting about that? So on the news the other night, they asked Mickey Morandini those same questions. How you thought he was going to do? Now, obviously, he's a spokesperson for the team, but
right.
If you look at he was pretty much right. I think. I mean, you have just as good a shot as anyone. You have the beginning of your rotation is good. The players that are in your lineup are good. It's a matter of the bench guys if they get in, and the back of the roster, the back of the lineup guys, the back of the starting roster. So, but that's really what it comes down to for a longer season. You just got to, the guys that are on the hook, you need a big hit from a guy on the bench. You don't have a choice right now because every one of those games matter. So, but I feel like they have just as good of a shot as any other team in the division. I mean, there's a lot of good teams in that division, but it's going to, as John was saying, that the East is going to be close. So it's going to be a matter of a game here, a game there. But, if they have a couple good outings from the back of their rotation that you wouldn't normally have, then that's the difference for any of the teams.
Right.
So-
Exactly. I think
Yeah.
they have a good shot. I mean, the lineups should be healthy. You're getting a little bit of an advantage, hopefully, with McCutcheon being healthy now. A little bit further into the season where we thought it might be June, July before he was really 100%, and so hopefully starting, he hopefully will be good to go there. So that already lengthens your lineup, and then you get a potentially to add Bohm into the lineup as a DH. Have Jay Bruce as a DH full time, which is another solid bat in the lineup. I mean, you look at that lineup; they got solid hitters all the way throughout the whole lineup. So, like you said, it's just a matter of pitching being able to hold up for the season.
Yeah. So somebody made a comment, said whoever starts off hot is going to have a better chance of winning with the short season. I would have to agree with that. So,
Totally.
Carl, go ahead.
Of course.
Let's not forget Joe Girardi. I mean, come on. You gotta, we haven't had a baseball man like that since Charlie, was here. Joe's got a little different strategy. He's a hell of a manager. And, I think with the addition of some of the bench strengths that we picked up, Josh Harrison, Neil Walker, you got Jay Bruce coming off the bench.
Is Kutch back yet?
I slid that Pirate guy right in. Well, two of them actually.
Two of them,
right?
Neil Walker.
Both of them.
I like them both.
Two
They're
Pirate
good guys.
guys.
And McCutcheon.
Yeah, they're good guys.
So Kutch is back now.
Bring Kutch back if he's healthy.
But
you know what? I'm looking for a fast, hot start out of the Phillies. I really am. I think Joe Girardi could be the sleeper in all of this. Keeping his guys motivated, healthy. And being a short season, this might play right into what Joe, the way Joe's going to handle this. So I'm excited. I think you could get off. Barring a big time injury, of course. You know what I mean? Fast start. Never know what can happen.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You're gonna have to when you're playing 10 games against everybody in your division. You're gonna have to keep. You're gonna have to win those games against the Marlins.
You keep mentioning these Mets. What's with the Mets? You keep mentioning the Mets like they're gonna run away with the division.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just using them as an example with our division. I mean, we finished behind them last year. I'm just as they have a good pitching staff. So their pitching staff falls apart. But now with the 60-game schedule, maybe they don't fall apart. But still, you got to win those games against the Marlins and Baltimore. Those are the two, 14 games that we're going to have to, win 12 of those 14 games.
Are the official schedules out yet?
They haven't.
No.
There must be something, though, a little bit, because I did see that we finished our speed. Well, no, the last games of the year, the Phillies play in Tampa.
And is every state on the same page that you can have games with no fans? Has everyone at least accepted that? Is everyone allowed to do that?
Yeah, that's a good point because we keep hearing a lot of different things, but like Texas, they keep saying that they're going to have fans in their ballparks. But
the fact that the Phillies are ending the season in Tampa also leads me to believe that anything kind of goes in Florida. So
right,
they're going to hope to maybe pack that stadium, not pack it, but at least have some fans in it by the time the end of September rolls around.
But Florida's getting ready to roll back again.
Well,
they'll be the first to reopen as soon as the cases start to drop, and so
that's what's funny with all of it. Florida and Texas are out of control right now. They're the ones that want to open everything up.
Right.
Yeah. Well, because they're oblivious.
Yeah.
A couple of folks now have mentioned these cardboard cutouts. Is that true? Is that an accurate story?
Absolutely. Yeah. The Oakland A's are the first team that's going to do it. And then there was talks today when I was watching the shows today. The Phillies might actually even have them where they're players in the past.
So
that would be cool.
What? Okay, let's go back to the Oakland A's for a second here. What does a fan pay to have their cardboard cutout in a seat? Because the team's losing money.
Here's what I would imagine. And you might-
$89.
I'm imagining. Here's what I would have done. I would have said, "Let me roll over your season ticket to next year, and I'll put up a cardboard cutout." Okay, sounds good.
Here
So,
comes our business manager.
Yeah.
That seems like so much work.
What happens when you get sweat?
So much money spent on cardboard cutouts.
They
You gotta
got to
get
keep
them
people
photos.
busy.
Well,
So
well,
somebody asked a question: if the ball hits your cardboard
Yeah.
cutout, do you get to keep the ball?
Yes.
Well,
Yes, that's
that's
part
what
of
I
the
was
deal.
Is it really?
You
Yeah.
pay $89,
Right.
and it's in area. There's going to be a higher price in more premium areas of spots being hit. But
So if you have Diamond Club seats, you're paying more money.
you might be paying $150, but you know, but
What happens?
but that's not
with the
not really premium because it's undercover, so you may not get the foul ball because of the screens.
Right. And what happens with the folks out? Are we not doing the outfield? Is this just like the
Well, no, the outfield will get the home run balls.
Right.
okay?
What a world.
Yes, but so it's $89. You get, and then I think it was
You're
two
just
tickets.
mad you guys didn't come up with it.
Listen, if we were allowed to play, we would have come up with something.
Yeah, $89.
I think Charlie Finley's back in Oakland. This sounds like something he would come up with.
You
Oh
get
God.
two tickets to an exhibition game next year,
Yeah.
and then baseball game. Baseball's if it hit your thing. My
And
question
a
is,
hot dog and fries at Baseball Town.
There you go. Like that.
Take whatever we can get.
so
Absolutely.
you know,
Seriously,
but-
did you see Jack's comment? There's an option to put a camera in your cutout so you can see
Uh,
where from your view.
I
I think that's
outrageous.
Yeah,
That's
it's going a little
clear.
overboard.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things you got to, you know, it's some of the players were liking it. You know, I was listening to Phil Goss one today. He was thinking it would be cool because it's going to be awkward. And as you
Yeah.
can see from those pictures today of how the crowd, in the background here, it's, blue seats everywhere. It would be kind
Right,
of,
right.
awkward.
So-
But I don't know what cardboard cutouts will do to make it any better. Unless they pump in crowd noise on
Well,
top of it.
They could, like they used to do in the comedies in the old days, pump in a laugh track.
Well,
So why not?
you might have to. Some NFL teams do that anyway.
So, not to be the Debbie Downer by any means, I like keep show positive, but baseball is back. But unfortunately, minor league baseball announced yesterday that they have canceled their season, and so, I mean, I know all of us for a while, especially Anthony being a part of the show, knew that was kind of coming, but it's kind of eerie to finally hear it. I don't know if anybody happened to catch the video that the Fightins put out yesterday, but Andy Kaufman, who is their video guy, he does an amazing job there. He was there April 9th when it was supposed to be opening night and just took a bunch of footage of pretty much a deserted stadium when the clock hits 7:10 when they should have been playing and all that kind of stuff. And it's very sad to watch it.
Yeah.
But they officially announced yesterday that the season had been canceled, and so it's definitely a tougher time, I think, for a lot of these minor league guys, the people who just work in the concession stands and the clean teams and the team stores and all that kind of stuff, because some of those people kind of bank on that money as either their actual income for the summer, maybe they're a teacher or something like that, or it's just an extra gig for them. And then obviously all the work that obviously goes into the season itself. But that announcement was finally made yesterday to make that official. So we're looking at 2021 now for the minors.
Yep. Well, and to bring it back to a little bit of positive.
Anthony, what was tonight supposed to be?
Today's July 1st. Today was Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
Oh,
Today was-
sweet.
Now I did see, so we're gonna try to do
Thanks, Dad.
all that stuff next year. But I saw we got a handful of not all of them, but we got about 2/3 of the bobbleheads we were supposed to, and that was one of them. And that is a heck of a bobblehead. It is sweet. It is heavy. It is substantial. I mean, it is. it's not like a double bobblehead where it's two little guys. I mean, it's two full-size guys on a heavy ball. They did a great job. So, yeah, I didn't even think about that till you mentioned it. I guess,
Thanks, Dad. I'm going to send him.
because I could always snag one if I need one. But
Send him to your house for the night.
I guess I'll just say I feel, it is what it is. We knew it was coming.
Cheers.
I feel more upset for the people that I know throughout the country that have lost their jobs. If I had to guess, I would say 75 to 80% of the people in the country have either been furloughed or lost their jobs. Not every team is in a financial situation like us where they've been able to keep us on with our health benefits and, our pay and all that stuff. But when I go on a LinkedIn or I go on a Zoom call and it used to have 60 people on it, now it's down to 12, or I go on LinkedIn and the first 6 posts are friends or acquaintances throughout the country that are out of jobs because of this. Not because they did anything wrong, but because of a virus they can't control. Sure. Between that and all the kids coming out of school with it's going to not only make it tough for industry to get in, but it's also, it's just sad for them because, I'm fortunate to have the job that I have. And, obviously worry about my future going forward. But some of these people that have worked there for 25 years at a team and suddenly don't have that income to pay for their kids' school or whatever, it is very difficult for a lot of teams throughout the country. So I'm just hoping that it gets better. We can never survive on a model like the major leagues can with television revenue, because unfortunately right now most teams are either locally or they're not on at all. So I'm hoping that things get better and everything we were going to do this year, we can do next year 10 times better. But it is definitely an uphill battle at the minor league level for sure.
But I mean, like you said, to bring it back to positive, it's good that the Phillies, John Middleton stepped up and, said he was paying all the minor league players through the season. And that's, shows how great of an owner he is, that he does want to win. To protect all those players throughout the minor leagues is,
for the future, there is going to be some type of form of minor league baseball. There has to be. Hopefully it's played in all those same cities that it currently is being played in. But when will we know that? I don't know, because even, not to get off topic, but even before all this stuff happened, there wasn't an agreement between Major League Baseball and minor league baseball. So, and I'm imagining that's probably not going to come until deep into the fall too, because now they have, Major League Baseball sort of worried about the actual season. So
right.
Our schedule might not come out until December. It might not come out to February. To the casual person, that doesn't seem like a big deal. But for the people that have to schedule 71 games and get entertainment and all that stuff, it doesn't give you much time. So
when do you normally get your schedule?
Normally we would personally have the schedule right now, and by August 1st, you would be able to, at our home games, pick your games for next year.
Wow.
We would have had, Scott, I'm sure, probably would have had it since like May or June, but we would have probably seen it by July, and the public would have seen it by August.
Right.
But I don't know who's going to be in charge going forward, so I don't know who makes the schedule right now, and I don't know any of that. So that's the one thing that's frustrating. I just wish there was more telling us of what's going to happen.
It's more of a short-term plan than a long-term plan. They're worried about right now and the season and what's ahead of them. They're not really worried about next year, the year after that, or.
Well, that's the reason I mentioned that it's frustrating for the people that actually work in it. Not myself. I'm very fortunate right now, currently today, but the thousands of people that I know throughout the country that don't have a job and they don't know what they're going to do. A lot of them might get out of sports. You don't know if you could wait to the next. You don't know if you could wait another 8 months, and you don't know. The one position that's available that might open. Not that anyone's hiring right now. Instead of 20 people applying for it, there might be 200 people applying for it. So
right.
This makes it a lot more difficult. So hopefully it gets better and we can kind of go back to normal for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd like to keeping it positive. I know Stephanie Brogdon's on tonight, and we've had her on the show to talk about her son Connor and he was invited to the Phillies camp, so he's one of the 60. So
That's awesome.
you know, he's a guy that, you know, that we're pulling for. We want to get her to Philadelphia. You know, we want to get her back on the show again. You know, she's been a mom that's, you know, she's been there since Little League, you know, with one of these young players. And, you know, he now has that opportunity. So that's all these kids want. They want an opportunity. Showcase themselves, you know. They do well, they make the squad, or they're right there on the bubble. And I think that's where Connor is right now. He's got a big arm, and we all know the Phillies need big arms.
Right.
So
Well,
in a short season, you know.
To answer Stephanie's question, she asked about MILB TV. So MLB TV, which you can order, shows you all the major league games. MILB TV you can order, and it shows you all the minor league games, which is obviously way more amount of games than major league is.
Right.
I think 2 years ago they mandated AA, and I think this past year they did single A. So pretty soon every team is going to have to be on there.
Wow.
The teams do get money for it. However, there are a lot more teams to split it up between.
Right.
And it's only like $9 for the entire year. So, and you have to be a really diehard fan to want to watch, you know, the Columbus Clippers versus the whoever if your family's not into that. So, yes, it's there, but that money is minuscule, and we're hoping that, you know, with whatever new deal through Major League Baseball or whatever, we could figure out, you know, MLB TV plays a lot of old movies and a lot of great stuff, but there's a lot of airtime that could be used for minor league baseball games and maybe creating something else, you know. People would watch that, I think. There's a lot of baseball on that doesn't get seen, unfortunately. So I'm hoping as a revenue stream, we could figure that out going forward.
So the major league teams are getting $1 billion, and you guys are getting what, thousands? For
You
the
guys
TV.
can check for like
Pretty
$12
much.
when it's all said and done.
I would say for the year, it's probably a couple $1,000 per each team, because I mean it's only $10.
Right,
You got
yeah, like you said,
160 teams.
Right.
Well, and you got to find people that really want that. I mean, that's
You really have to be like, you guys are all, you know, Phillies fans. I'm a Pirates fan. If I didn't work in it, I wouldn't have that, because I mean, who has the time to watch
Right.
the Bradenton team? You know what I mean? No one has it. You have to really be into minor league baseball to get that.
Mm-hmm.
so.
Yep.
Switching gears though from baseball to hockey, because they did finally announce the 2 final cities, right? That's correct. Right before we got on air tonight, they did announce
7:23. We're going to start talking hockey.
I just
She said
just asked the question.
She said you have till 7:26.
Yeah. Make it quick.
I have officially lost the show.
Well, this is like a minor league version of ESPN. They don't talk about hockey either. So
That's not true.
yes, it
That's
is.
not true. That's
They
not
hate
true. They've got their own network. Come on, stop.
You just wasted a
Right.
minute of your 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're just wasting time. You're just wasting time complaining.
So give us Carl, give us an update. I haven't seen anything, so tell me where we're at.
We're going to play hockey in Canada. 2 of the hub cities are, what was it, Toronto and Edmonton?
Edmonton, yep.
Okay.
So that's two of the hub cities, and it looks like it could be Vegas and Chicago, maybe. So that's where we're at.
What are they waiting for the America? You know, USA for the numbers. What is the hold up there?
Just like everything
Love
else we've talked
anticipation.
about. What's that?
They love anticipation. Nothing
Yeah.
like waiting until the last minute to make a decision.
They don't know. You know,
Yeah.
for the longest time they were going to go to Vegas. Now all the numbers are up in Vegas, and you know they don't even want to look at Vegas. You know, because of the spike there.
Yep.
You know, that was
So wait a minute. So Mike Taylor said it's only
It's 2 cities.
only 2 cities. So are all the games in Canada, or there's still 2 cities in America?
so now it's down to just 2 cities. So they
That
went.
means they're just going to play in Canada the whole time. That sounds like.
And apparently
Wow.
Vegas is out.
Yeah. Jack said it's
Yeah.
only the 2 cities.
Wow.
Oh, so now it's down to 2 cities. Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow.
See? I
Well, I
thought.
Canada does seem like the proper area for all of hockey to take place in.
And see, the NHL does have a plan because today's Canada Day, so that's why they announced it today. But,
Look at this.
there's a grand scheme of why it all wraps up in one big nice bow.
There you go. So yeah, it
Don't
does
talk
appear
about
that it's going to
hockey
be on.
because they botched up their own draft Friday night. So they just they can't make a decision either. All the leagues they're all in the same boat. Everybody's they just don't know.
Right.
So just Edmonton and Toronto. That's it. The Eastern Conference in one city, the Western Conference in the other. So
it's probably not a bad idea in general. I think in general the numbers up there have been lower. Here you pick a Pittsburgh or a Vegas, and then 2 weeks later the numbers are through the roof. I mean, you can't have that. So hopefully that all works out for the best in Canada.
Yeah.
Well, there's my
what?
There's my expertise on hockey. I didn't even know they went from 4 cities to 2. So go figure.
Well, that's because a couple of teams are backing out. Vancouver backed out. Los Angeles was another spot, and their numbers are up as well. And
that's still a lot of hockey to play in those
spots.
2 cities.
Yeah,
That's still a lot of hockey.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, it probably also helps up that there's probably a million rinks to practice on compared to.
Right.
True.
That goes back to my initial comment that nobody seemed to acknowledge. Hockey, Canada seems like the perfect place to have hockey in.
Sure.
Well, it is, but it's just a matter of getting all the players to there. I don't know how Canada is going to feel about that.
So do we have 2 seconds to talk about basketball real quick? Is there any update there? Is that all good to go, or where are we at?
Well, at the moment it is, but it's a lot of guys are backing out. Zaire Smith for the Sixers backed out, not because of the virus, but he's hurt, so he won't be down at all for this year. And they're still planning on going, but Florida keeps every day they keep announcing 10,000 new cases. So why are we sending all these athletes down to Florida? Is beyond me. I don't get it.
Right.
Like Charles Barkley said, I'm not going there if my team doesn't have a chance to win. So it's if I'm on a lousy team, I'm not going down there. It doesn't make any sense. And that's I think a lot of other players have heard that and they're realizing it now too. Like all these 8 and 9 seeds and guys that are out of the playoffs that hope to get a chance to get to the playoffs. Why go down there for 4 months? It could be a 4 month opportunity if you're in the bubble.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. I like Steve keeping us on track.
Yeah. So let's rip them for the next 2 minutes.
He's trying to stay low for the whole show until the last minute.
Yep.
If you talk to him, everybody in the world has the virus.
Oh God.
All right. So speaking of takeaways, John, what do you got for us?
Well, my takeaway is that we're having this the game is taking off. This who were best is going good. Everybody's jumping on board here, and we like to see it. And it's just it's been fun. We need our sports back. It's something that we need desperately. Hopefully we can get through these next 3 or 4 months, and we can, all survive and get it back. But people are getting on. This is growing. This game, and we'd love to see it. So keep it all coming.
Dad?
My takeaway is a business announcement for Carl's Cards and Collectibles.
There we go.
So July 18th, we have MVP Bobby Shantz in the store for our Customer Appreciation Day. August 1st, we have probably the toughest Broad Street bully that ever laced them up, Dave the Hammer Schultz. And then September, what did I say, 18th or 19th? What day was that?
The 19th.
The 19th, thank you. September 19th, we're going to bring Kafal back. Brian Propp joins us.
Nice.
So that takes care of July, August, and September here at Carl's Cards. So we're going to keep everybody safe. We're going to keep everybody happy, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun.
Nice.
So wear your mask.
And I heard that the Grill Master is going to be in action on July 18th.
Well, yes.
Yes, we are.
Mm.
With special
So
homemade burgers.
I advise everyone to be extremely nice to John because he's going to be in charge of the distribution. So just that's my 2 cents.
No frozen burgers at Carl's Cards.
All right.
Fresh homemade ones.
Will you be making that dip by chance? Could I put a special request in for that?
There's going to be some special sauce made as well.
All right. Tony,
Yes,
what do you
will.
got?
Well, it's been a great week as far as announcements over the last week or so. It's obviously bittersweet for us in this minor league world because, we're sort of still not knowing what's going on for the future, but, it's positive to have sports back. I will say there are a lot of teams that are still hosting events. We have events other than this Thursday. We have events that go to a charity each Thursday, which is great. You can have about 250 people in the stadium. We're doing baseball camps right now each morning for little kids right now. And then we're also going to have high school games. So for all the kids that couldn't graduate, couldn't play, the last year for their graduation, we're hosting a lot of those games at the stadium. Not only Berks County teams, but also like Plymouth Whitemarsh and organizations closer to Philadelphia, just so those kids can have that last opportunity. So even if you can't make it to Reading, if you live in Wilmington, if you live in Trenton, there are things going on. That is the only source of revenue that those organizations are making right now. So wherever you live, try to support them or whatever small business that you live near.
Can people come to those high school games, or how does that work as far as attendance goes?
Yeah, high school games. I'm not sure if there's a cost just yet. If there is, I'm sure it'll be $5 or so, and that money would probably go to split between the schools.
And then are you just distancing the folks in the stands, or is it up to
Yeah,
them?
yeah.
Okay.
You can kind of, we're going to tell you to keep your distance, and you can kind of sit anywhere in the grandstand.
Right.
But we've also had a lot of people that call us that normally have had a company outing at the stadium, and it might not be the same 200-person outing, but they might have 50 people that feel comfortable that they just want to see a baseball game and get back to normal. So, yeah, and other places have yard sales and flea markets and whatever. So just look at what's going on in your area and try to support them just so that they're here for another year or two.
Okay. For me, it's a little bit more of a personal thing. So this Friday is July 3rd, and that marks 3 months until Anthony and I get married. So we are keeping our fingers crossed for this wedding to actually take place and for everything to go as well as humanly possible. This certainly wasn't the year we were anticipating as far as organizing all this and getting it all together. But 3 months out, and hopefully everything can still happen. So when you folks go out, wear your damn masks to keep these numbers down so this wedding can happen in October. So fingers crossed for that.
All right. That leaves me, right?
Yes.
So we got today is Canada Day, so happy Canada Day to everybody. This weekend is 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Everybody be safe. And we will see you next Wednesday, July 8th, 6:30. We'll be back here again.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks. Have a great
Thank
night.
you.